You've heard of the Eye of Vecna. You've heard of the Hand of Vecna. Well, I bet you haven't heard of the Toenail of Vecna. Yes, in the realms, one can find the Toenail of Vecna. What is the Toenail of Vecna? Well, obviously it's a toenail, but what? Why? Let's find out. Lord Bladesemmer and the Toenail of Vecna. During a recent revel at the Farthinghar House, the Bladesemmer noble family's mansion in Seaward, a curious, glowing curio was seen in the private study of Lord Rorild, Rory Bladesemmer, the sole remaining resident in Waterdeep, elderly uncle of the current head of the house, High Lord Teravan Bladesemmer. Vajra Safahr, the Blackstaff of Waterdeep, was sufficiently alarmed by the report rendered unto her by the watchful order of magists and protectors that she interviewed Lord Rorild in his study. She recorded their converse by means of a speaking stone, and by the shady graces of a Blackstaff Tower apprentice who understandably wishes to remain anonymous, it is shared with you today. Well met, Lord Rorild, and thank you for granting me this access to your private space and person. "'Tis a lift to the heart that brightens my customary wasteful boredom, little lady. Call me Rory. All my friends do." "Thank you. Rory, in my capacity as the 7th Blackstaff of Waterdeep, I should like to know rather more about that glowing oval stone on yonder table. It appears to contain something that I am given to understand you described as the Toenail of Vecna. May I ask how it came into your possession?"
You may indeed. Being as you're sitting right there and I'm right here, now would seem to me to be an excellent opportunity to ask me. Superlative even if we're being bold, and I always am. Speaking of which, care for some wine?
Not at the moment, thank you."
"No, I have Hulserina, Fire Amber, Elverquist."
"You may yet weaken me, Lord Bladesemmer."
"That's certainly my intention. Rory, lass, Rory."
"I shall endeavor to remember. I may yet have need of personally calling upon you, Rory. But let us leave such matters for another time, and in the here and now, mutually understand that I am asking you directly. How came you by the item I have just mentioned?"
"Well, 'twas the year I persuaded Lashtra. The Erlingstars had just bought their little vanity kingdom somewhere in the hot south. The Cromers were busy installing their third pawn as treasurer of Athkatla. There was a new feud heating up, the Broken Gulfs and the Cathants this time, and some daft priest or other was trying to get all the masked dolts to strip the lot of us of our titles and privileges because Seomorph would not approve of what we've become. As if he knew what or who a Seomorph was, even if she happened to scorch him a new one in his daughter. Oh, and Teravan here was just settling into wedded bliss. A noisy business, that. Rubera chasing him up and down the passages all night, giving him a right good lashing. Cost us scores of statuettes until she mastered her aim, it did. Not that Moreau's miniature marble ancestors are all that uplifting, what? I much prefer some disapprovingly glaring portraits myself. Traditional, that's what I am, traditional.
Forgive my interruption, but the year you, persuaded Lashtra?
Seduced the lady Lasharantera Lathcool. What a magnificent filly. A conquest for the ages, my campaign was. Still glorious in hindsight, and there was a lot of hind a sight, if you take my meaning.
Regrettably, I do. So, in calendar years, that would be...
no. 3 summers after Perla fell off her skyship, that'd be Emerald Sun. Yeah, 'twas indeed. The year of the Emerald Sun. I misremember the Dale reckoning counting's what servants are for. Late flame rule, as I recall, hot and damp for 10 days in a row, so everyone wanted cellar cool, or better yet, to be out of the city, and somewhere in dappled shade with the cool waters of a stream, gliding past the old naked self, as servants bring cold cress hand pies and strong slakes in flagons. Just the thing. So, Lashtra and I were doing just that, floating on our backs and chatting idly about life, dragons and all, as one does when sated, and she got all quiet and serious, asked, Do you ever think about living forever? Well, I gave her the truth. 'Tis hard work enough to get a noble of the male persuasion to think at all. We're far more respond to our passing senses of the moment beasts. And she granted that, but she asked if I saw myself still seducing noble ladies, or any other ladies for that matter, 60 or 80 years hence. I told her I found the notion attractive, but do not the gods grant us a span, and then all crumbles, and we totter to the grave? Even these lich-knee jacks see it all shrivel. Only vampires keep their manhoods, and there's something about sharp teeth that I find damnable. Makes me wince just thinking on it. Do you see the trouble with thinking I was just jawing about?
I begin to. And this has anything to do with yon toenail?
It does. Whatever we're supposed to say these days. Can't keep all the niceties straight. Never could. Well, thing is, Lashtra went on about truly mighty liches, and how they hide their power not just in the one place they're all supposed to have. Their suppository, I think it is?
Close enough. Go on.
Getting there, truly I am. Well, she said this Vecna fellow was one of the too powerful for their britches liches, and his power was spread all over the place, from his favorite back scratcher to the hair that came out his hairbrush before he lost all his hair, that sort of thing. And she got hold of one of his toenails. Don't ask me how.
That's exactly what I came here to ask you, Rory. Not to put it too bluntly, is Vecna clipping his toenails right here in Waterdeep?
Okay, so Ed, I'm dying to know, if you could be any one character in the realms for one day, who would it be and why?
I'd like to be Storm Silverhand, because I get to meet a whole ton of Harpers. Or I could be Zastam and kill them all.
The second answer is so much more aggressive. If you want more little nuggets of wisdom like this, plus a whole lot more, and you've been enjoying these Realmslore videos and want to support the channel and the man directly himself, please consider becoming a Protector of the Realms by heading on over to patreon.com/EdGreenwood, where you can get early access, all sorts of other great benefits. Or if you want to support Ed another way, you can also head on over to the official Ed Greenwood shop, where you can pick up excellent adventuring gear like this. And but for now, we appreciate all of your generosity and your support, and please enjoy the rest of this video.
Yeah, please. Thank you.
How by all the nine hells should I know? I presume he has servants to clip his like I have servants to clip mine. What I do know is that Lashtra got very excited and asked me if she could trust me. Well, I was smitten by an attack of the honesties, I was. Must have had deeper feelings for that magnificent mare than I thought I did. Hey, what? And told her, of course she could, but of course I would say so, and she'd best not trust my answer, because male, her lover, and spoiled old wastrel noble at that. At which she lit up like the sun, smile ear to ear, and said she knew she could trust me after those words, and I was to keep something safe for her, because she dared not keep it herself any longer. The toenail, of course. She said it was corrupting her, that Vecna whispered to her every night out of it, and she was finding herself obeying him, and didn't like it.
And she thought you'd not be corrupted?
I know not what she thought, lass, just what she said to me, which can be very far from the same thing. What she said was that she figured I was too much the dunderhead to fall for Vecna's cozening, and I guess she was right, because he whispers to me every night too, and we have grand old sparring arguments, but I do nothing I wasn't already doing before his old toenail got here. I think he's getting desperate. Lately, he's taken to showing me things in my dreams and making damn sure I remember them when I awake.
Oh, what sort of things?
Me striding around Waterdeep, taking any woman who caught my eye, and when their partners got angry, taking hold of said partners, if they weren't women who caught my eye too, of course, and tearing them apart. Blood spraying everywhere and bones tumbling up into the air as teeth go every which way and eyeballs too, bouncing around like squishy grapes underfoot. Splendid stuff.
And yet you resist, Lord Bladesemmer.
I like my eyeballs firm.
So such visions moved you not. What did Vecna try then?
Showed me a throne with me on it, with a scepter and a big crown and all, in robes dripping with jewels, and ladies all crowded around, offering me decanters of wine and platters of tarts and little sugar-spun unicorn sweets, and I don't remember what all.
Not grapes dangled down into your mouth?
Ah, he sent you visions too. What did you think of his style? Not subtle, what?
not. So, do you think you'll ever weaken? Do his bidding in the darkest depths of the night?
Well, he does prod me awake sometimes when I'd rather sleep. I just drink something very strong and the slumber comes. If you ask me, this Vecna's a bit of a dolt. He takes my sleep and he leaves me so tired I doze off the rest of the day. So have no blood and thunder to do his bidding the rest of the time. These never-sleeping liches lose touch with what it is to be alive and frail. So, lass, level with me. Are you here to try and take the toenail away from me?
And if I was, would you fight me?
Well, if the fight was the two of us wrestling around in big gooey desserts, say, frothy icing and cherries and all, I might fight you for the fun of it. But for the toenail? No. Take it if you want it. I try never to argue with wizards. And if some of them were more reasonable, I might even profit from that tactic.
I admire your wisdom, Rory, and I have reached the conclusion, perhaps mistaken, but we'll see, that the toenail is safer here than in Blackstaff Tower, where ambitious magelings abound, and there are those who might well listen to its lure. However, if you ever find yourself weakening, do contact me.
Oh, I look upon you and find myself weakening instantly.
Of course. How was the Revel?
Hey? Which one?
The recent one, in which you invited no less than 7 magists of the Watchful Order all the way up here to this private study hidden in the black passages of this mansion of not inconsiderable size.
Well, here is where I keep my etchings and the wine.
Yes, of course. How forgetful of me. Did Vecna reach out to any of these, guests, do you think?
I doubt it. At least, they didn't show it. Everything went quite well.
And what is quite well, more specifically?
Well, we had our laughs, and they emptied a few of my decanters, all very relaxed and convivial. Then the tall, thin one, Mathra? Yeah, fell over the railing yonder. I think she'd had a little too much, you know. But she landed in the fruit tree you see down there, and I don't think she broke anything but her dignity. I was still dropping my hook line to her when Nyantse triggered the intruder trap. All of its spikes went right through her, but I forced the heal-all decanter down her throat while she was still trying to scream, then got the trap open. Not quite fast enough, but by then all the flying daggers were out and whizzing about. They pinned the rest of your mages to that wall there. You can still see the marks. But I got the blood off right quick. Fire Amber takes gore away a treat if you ever need a little evidence disposed of. Simple healing potions saw to their needs, and I gave them all fistfuls of gems from my jar to cover the ruined gowns, so quite well, I must say. You trained them to scream quite impressively.
A testimonial I'll treasure. You don't happen to ever unleash curses on any guests or unwelcome intruders, do you?
By the gods, no. I'm a corrupt old noble, not a wizard.
Indeed, I sit corrected.
Well, finally we're getting somewhere. Pulsarina, lass? Fire Ember? Elverquist?
I fear not. After all, I must be on my mettle to face Vecna.
Your problem is you don't throw nobles at your world-threatening dooms. Spell duels, always spell duels, and that's how you get talking frogs and such.
I fear so. Do tell me without any delay if the toenail goes missing, will you?
A lady has but to ask. I'm a noble, remember?
This little missive requires some footnotes, so a note of etiquette. This noble house and several others in Waterdeep use an unrecognized High Lord title, despite the orders of the Open Lord. The Masked Lords and the Heralds, by adopting High as a personal name and placing it before Lord when they are styling themselves in written missives or when their household servants address them. And there you have it, the, so far, sad saga of the Toenail of Vecna. Realms forever.